The 49ers have just wrapped up preseason game 3, and I will be honest with you. The 49ers and Chargers, the game looked so bad, I stopped watching in the fourth quarter because, let's face it, there's just a ton of backups, ton of flags that are going on. It's very ugly football that's happening right now. But you know what? Guys are still trying to make a name for themselves, trying to make that 53-man roster. If they don't, they want to make a big enough name for themselves where somebody else will pick them up off the waiver wire. But I want to talk about some of the good because we did get to see some things. We also saw some bad, but let's focus on some of the good. Sky Moore started doing some kick returns, punt returns. One of our first few looks at him. Now, he didn't have any big game-breaking runs or anything like that. He had a few catches out of the backfield, but from a kick return and punt return standpoint, he seems to be pretty solid. Since you don't have to worry about much bobbling, he's a sure-handed catcher, and that's what's good. Also, staying on the special team side, let's talk a little bit about Morstead. Morstead he had a couple punts right inside the 5-yard line, which were great. He's not going to be booting 65-yarders down the field, but he's going to be great possession-wise, also great against the salary cap. So that was a good pickup. Renardo Green was playing today, which is good because we haven't seen much because of injuries, but Renardo Green did suit up, did play a few downs, and was playing some pretty tight coverage. But also on the coverage front, we saw Terrell Luter Jr., I think, should be making the team, should be a lock to make the team. He had a great game. Now, granted, there were some passes completed against him, but he also had a pass breakup. He also had, I believe, a fumble recovery as well. And so look for Terrell Luter Jr. to also make the team. He also had some great run defense as well. You see him coming off the edge on the outside zone read and just kind of coming in and stopping the run. So I thought there were some good things. Braden Willis, he had a fumble punt recovery, so that looked good. Look for him to possibly make the team as well. Luke Farrell, we actually got to see a little bit of Luke Farrell on the receiving end today. He should be a good complement to George Kittle. You need another receiving threat, and he just signed a 3-year deal in the offseason. So look for Luke Farrell to start contributing to the team. We got to see a little bit of spark here and there, which is good. We needed to see that. Now to the topic you've all been waiting for, Jake Moody. That's right. Jake Moody, the one who nailed a game winner, 59-yarder last week, decided to miss his first PAT today. And not just that, he also kicked one of the kickoffs out of bounds, which allowed the Chargers to go up to the 40-yard line. Now, the question has to be asked, is Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch okay with Jake Moody being the starting kicker going into the 25-26 season? Now, I've been one of Jake Moody's biggest fans back from when he's been in Michigan. In fact, he had the record for the Super Bowl's longest field goal until Harrison Butker beat it a few minutes afterward. But Jake Moody, not that he's not capable, I think he's fighting a mental battle. And as soon as you lose confidence, that is a big deal, especially in the NFL. You cannot have a kicker who is not confident, and you're seeing that over and over. I think he has all the talent in the world. I think he's got a strong leg. I just think that his confidence is shot right now. And sometimes all you need is a change of scenery, and hopefully he gets that. I could see Harbaugh taking a risk on him because guess what? He helped him win a championship at Michigan. So, and if anybody can do that, it would be Jim Harbaugh. So I'd be curious to see what the 49ers do with Jake Moody. Again, there's going to be 10 days before the next game. Actually, probably about 14 days before the next game. So we'll see kind of what happens there. Now let's talk about the quarterback battle for the number 3 spot, Tanner Mordecai and Carter Bradley. Now, the 49ers may only end up keeping 2 quarterbacks, just Brock Purdy, and we also know Big Mac Jones. But if they keep 3, who should it be? And after this game, I think it has to be Tanner Mordecai. If you would have asked me after week 1, I would have said Tanner Mordecai has to walk. But the fact is, Tanner Mordecai actually balled out today. He had a nice touchdown pass in the corner. He also had a few good runs as well. And so I think Tanner Mordecai's kind of bounced back. Carter Bradley did not have a good showing today. Had an interception, fumble, and he was a little all erratic. And then he settled down going into the fourth quarter. But I think Tanner Mordecai, if the 49ers keep 3 quarterbacks or keep him on practice squad, it's got to be Tanner Mordecai. Now, on to Jair Brown. It's been made known that Jair Brown is available on the market because honestly, I think he's either going to be a cut or they're going to try to find a trade partner. If they can recoup the 6th round pick that they ended up trading away, to the Chiefs for Sky Moore, I think they might try to do that. If they can recoup maybe even the draft pick that they sent, to the Commanders, we'll see. Maybe they can recoup that. But I think they're going to try to trade Jair Brown because let's just face it, he was going against a 4th-string quarterback and gave up a touchdown in the end zone. So I think they've lost confidence in Jair Brown, which is a bummer because I thought he played really well a couple years ago. And then last year kind of really took a step back. And so I think it's going to be hard for him to kind of return to form, at least with the 49ers. Very similar to Jake Moody. I think he just needs a change of scenery. On to Jeff Wilson Jr. Jeff Wilson is an interesting back because I love the way he runs super hard, but let's face it, he's got a lot of miles on him. He went from the 49ers, ended up going over to the Dolphins. Now he's back where he started, but again, he has a lot of mileage on his body, runs very hard, and if the 49ers keep him, if they keep 4 running backs, I could see them making him the 4th running back. Other than that, he may be a casualty, 53-man casualty. I'd love to see him come back. You do need some insurance at running back, which the 49ers did invest in a trade this week. You also have Isaac Guerendo, but let's face it, Isaac Guerendo looked like he hurt his shoulder again today after one of the runs, and so we'll have to see how that is. But I wouldn't be surprised if Jeff Wilson makes the team, but also if they're going to cut him, I hope they do it sooner rather than later. That way he can get a jump start on some of the other teams. With that said, let's jump over to rookie Nick Martin. I just think he keeps on growing week in and week out. He had a great tackle for a loss. Actually, what seemed to have been like it was going to be a huge gain. You just see him flying out from the outside and then making a big stop on an outside sweep in which outside contain was lost. Not Nick Martin's fault, but he came swooping in, and I thought he made a huge tackle. It's great to see him grow from week 1 because week 1 you saw him overrunning the ball, just missed tackles, and then last week we saw kind of a step forward, and this week the same thing. So you love seeing that. You can't talk about Kyle Shanahan without talking about undrafted rookies, and that leads us to Drew Moss. Drew Moss was left guard, and I thought he played absolutely phenomenal today, and I think he's earned himself a roster spot. In fact, if he's a casualty, he will absolutely be picked up. So Kyle Shanahan, John Lynch, he cannot be cut assuming that you're going to keep him on the practice squad. No, you need to keep him on the 53-man roster because I think he's going to be phenomenal insurance and could end up working his way to be a starting guard for the 49ers. He started 47 games in his collegiate career, undrafted. But you know what? The 49ers picked him up because of his athleticism, which fits perfect for Kyle Shanahan's scheme. So you might want to keep an eye out for him. I could see him potentially filling in at that left guard role or right guard role. Again, you got Connor Colby, who could be stepping in. Ben Barch is constantly hurt. So I do think that there's probably some room for Drew Moss to start making his name known. And so that's all I have for today. Demarcus Robinson had a touchdown in the corner that was thrown by Tanner Mordecai. So I do think after the suspension, Demarcus Robinson will have a chance to really contribute to the team. But outside of that, it's going to be an interesting week. We'll see who ends up making the roster. The 49ers have 3 days to get down to 53. And so it's really a bummer because always bad news when you don't end up making the team. And it's tough for coaches to have to deliver that news. But let's see what the 49ers team looks like. This is going to be a different year because, let's face it, there's going to be 9 new starters on the team, and then that doesn't include the normal rookies that come on in, so it's going to be a completely different team, a lot of fresh faces, so it's hard to really narrow down who you think the 53-man roster is going to come down to, but we know that John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan have their work cut out for them, and then it's on to the Seahawks. Well, that's all we have for today. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll catch you next time.